I have to thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me. Many of you are my family and have been my family for years now, since I came to San Francisco. I also need to thank my friend, my political mentor, my idol, my political idol, Mark Leno. I've known him for a long time. We fought some pretty difficult street fights in the trenches together, and I'm really glad to see that he's here to help me fight what could be a very difficult street fight in the trenches in this campaign. Bevan Dufty, we worked on his campaign.
Sure did.
We had people tell us Bevan Dufty will never be the next supervisor in this city, and we showed a lot of people wrong. And not only is he a supervisor, he has emerged as one of the leaders on the Board of Supervisors. And thank you so much, Bevan, for everything you do for the city. I have to assure Mark I'm not going to speak from notes. But I do have a list of people here that I want to thank, and I want to make sure the people that have been with me and helped me over the last few months, I want to make sure I thank them for being here. People like SEIU, UHW, I am so grateful for your endorsement. I am so grateful for your support. And I believe that is going to make a big difference in this campaign, to be able to show demonstratively that we have working people on our side, and we're here to help working people make a better life for themselves and better life for people of San Francisco. People like Ken Cleveland with BOMA, the Building Owners and Managers Association, is big business, and we have unions and we have large business. Catherine Webster. Catherine's with the Soma Mission Bay, Rincon Hill Neighborhood Association. She's been with me from the day one, and she continues to support me. Rob Black's here with the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Rob, a former candidate, an advisor, and thank you so much for being here. Scott Hauge, representing small businesses, representing a large community of this city. Rodriguez Santos, who was CRG, thank you very much, and I appreciate your support. The Realtors, San Francisco Realtors endorsed me last week. Jeff Wu and Jim Fabris, thank you so much for the endorsement. It means a lot to me. Of course, Charles Sheehan and the other people with the Alice B. Toklas Democratic Club, my home. Club I was co-chair of. I see it as my political base in this city and people I love with all my heart, and thank you. The first people to endorse me, and I'm guessing and I guarantee you they'll be the last people up the night before the election helping us walk those precincts. Also want to thank Art Swanson. Where'd he go? There he is. Art, my dear friend. He's become a dear friend in just a few months. If I don't hear from Art every day, I feel like I'm neglected. Thank you so much for everything you do. Pat Christensen's here, representatives from Mayor Gavin Newsom's office here, and as Mark said, it's a very broad coalition of people, and thank you all for being here. Andrew, Bryan, I can just go around the room and name people. I have to give the kind of the PG-13 warning before I make these presentations because I want to make sure people understand, and if anybody wants to leave after I say this, feel free to, because it's kind of like turning off your dial, but I'm the transgender woman who ran environmental companies and ran Good Vibrations for 8 years, and I'm the downtown candidate. So I wanted you to know that up front, so that anybody wants to leave, you can feel free to do so. It's just like Mark once made a comment, the Board of Supervisors. He's the Jewish gay supervisor who represents transgender rights and medical marijuana, and he's the moderate in the race. So thank you very much, Mark. I take that as a huge honor and as a huge badge of courage. But what that does say is what's happening in this city is polarization. Polarization being one group who call themselves progressive and another group who call themselves not progressive. Moderates, if you will. And there's been a lot of discourse, there's been a lot of accusations that this person's the downtown candidate, or this person's the left, or this person's the right, or this person's this or that. And one of the things I want to do, and I think we need to do, is bring civic discourse back to this city so we can talk about issues rather than always making it personal. And we need to do that, and with your help, we will do that. And the future of the city are based on really a few very basic premise. One is jobs. You know, there's an article in the Wall Street Journal that was pointed out to me a few days ago, State of California in the last few years have lost over 400,000 construction jobs alone. 400,000 people who are in the construction industry that aren't working just over the last few years. I know what that feels like. I was in the construction. I was a laborer. I know it's hard for you to believe a delicate flower like myself could have been a laborer, but I was. I was a laborer, and I remember sitting on those benches waiting for them to call and waiting for them to say, we have a job for you over here, over there. And those are really difficult times. I've also been unemployed in this city. But I've also owned companies and run companies in the environmental industry long before it was clean tech. And I know how to create jobs, and we need to create jobs in this city so people can go back to work. We can drop the unemployment rate below 10%. We can stimulate the economy. We get this city moving forward. So we need to support the building trades. We need to support projects like CPMC on Cathedral Hill. We need to support projects like the Trans Bay Terminal, Doyle Drive, projects that will put construction workers, put people back to work, who will then spend money in our cafes and our dry cleaners and spend money in the city, which will drive jobs in this city across the board. We need to do that, and that's one of the things this campaign is going to do, and I pledge to you that's one thing I will do. With the economy in general, this city, the slogan of this city should be San Francisco means business. San Francisco means business. We need to create jobs. We need to stimulate the economy. I was at Kick Labs the other day. It's this co-office space with a lot of young companies in a large room, and there's maybe 20 young companies working on high tech. They're developing apps for your iPhone and for your Droid. And each of these companies, they're like 4 or 5 brilliant young people, men and women, who are developing new products. I developed recycling. I have a patent in recycling. Developed new products a long time ago, and I know what it means and how hard it is to get those things from your brain to paper, get them financed, and get them to the market. But once you get them to the market, you create jobs, you stimulate the environment, and in the case of these young companies, they will help San Francisco move forward. We need to create economic empowerment zones so that the city provides infrastructure that will help these young companies move forward and get into the marketplace. And if we do that, the 2 or 3, or as Catherine says, many hundred, 600 or 700, 800 companies now that are trying to get started in San Francisco will turn into 2,000, 3,000 young companies, and they will move this city into the 21st, further into the 21st century for high-tech, biotech, and clean tech jobs. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do it as quickly as we can.